All
Oh,
right. Welcome back. This is episode 2 of the QR code. Up top is Q. I'm Razor,
yeah.
and we're coming fresh off of the victory against the New York Giants at the Meadowlands, 28-6, as we both predicted. So that's a W, and that's one in the win column for both of us in our predictions. All
That's
right.
right. That's right.
Anything before we get started here?
Well, first, I was just over the moon excited about the way Sam Darnold played. I mean, man, and then the best part about the game is you're up 28, you're up 22 points. You ain't throwing it. So everything went well. The running game was just on point. And my gosh, that defense. You hit the nail on the head. You said they were just wanting to hit somebody for the last couple of weeks. So
They
just a great defensive effort.
they looked hungry. I was at the game, um, had a great time. I generally do when I go there. I mean, I've had some bad times. I was there for the 41 zip, and I'm trying to forget that. But this Sunday made up for it. One thing I did, like I said, the defense was looking to hurt somebody. They were looking to hit somebody. Jonathan Gennard actually said on KFan in Minneapolis on the radio, he said that after a while they kind of felt bad for Daniel Jones because they were just abusing him. They really were. He was the one seeing ghosts. He was throwing worm burners. He was afraid, running for his life. But hey, the Giants fans kind of disappointed me because that's their 100th season. They were wearing those funky uniforms and they were celebrating. They had Phil Simms come out with Eli Manning and ring the bell to start it off. And I think that was the highlight of the game because when it was 13 minutes and 40 seconds left to go in the game in the fourth quarter, almost everybody left, almost every Giants fan. So it was a sea of purple. Um, it wasn't pretty for the Giants. But hey, week one in the books. We're gonna take that W and we're gonna move on.
Win for the
Okay.
Vikes.
Mm-hmm.
Skull.
Skull. All right. So this what we're gonna do now is we're gonna talk about the upcoming game this week. The 49ers are coming into town to take on again the Vikings in their home opener. What do you got?
All right. And unfortunately, because we saw the 49ers last week, I mean, dude, it's a loss. But what I'm looking, what I'm actually going to play the looky loo role. I'm just going to watch things happen. I want to see how Darnold progresses in week 2. And unfortunately, he's going to have a little bit more of aggressive defense with San Francisco. So, he might have a rough afternoon. But I also want to see how well the defense plays against a more disciplined and just an offense that's built to score.
Well, again, I have this as a loss also. I'd like to see it be kept respectable. I think it's going to be difficult to, rattle Brock Purdy. He's battle tested. He's Super Bowl caliber quarterback. Um, I think Brian Flores will dial up some packages some fronts that may confuse him, things he's never seen before, but they looked so good. They looked so good, and even without Christian McCaffrey, they're rushing the ball. I think what Mason got 128 yards or 138 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere close to that. It was just they looked unstoppable. Now maybe having the Monday night game, the short week, and then the flight from the West Coast to Minneapolis, maybe that'll slow them down a little. We'll see. But I, I agree. I just want to see them. I just want to see a good game. I don't care about the outcome. If we win, great. If we lose, yeah.
Oh,
But
if we win, I'm going to act a fool. But but again, we're trying not to be the homers. We're trying to be people say, "Hey, how's this going to work out?" So okay, this I can easily see it being a loss, but I would love to probably see something like 24-17 or something crazy like that.
Okay, if it's 24-17, that's respectable in my opinion. I don't want to see them win by 2, 3 scores. I don't want to see a blowout. I'd like to see, learn, live to play another day, come out healthy, move on. Every week of progress for this team is one week closer to where we want to be in 2025. That's pretty much the way I feel right now.
Yeah, and that's all I want to see.
Okay. All right. Okay. So now we're going to discuss the miscellaneous NFL game of the week. You're going to pick a
Hmm.
game. Pick a game that you find interesting. Tell me what you think the outcome is going to be and why.
All right. So I'm just a terrible, mean, vindictive person, and I want to see somebody get kicked when he's down. So I picked as my game of the week, and I believe it's the Monday. It's the Monday night game, Falcons versus the Eagles.
Eagles.
That's Monday night, right?
Yes, that's a Monday nighter.
Yeah, that's. I was making sure it wasn't Sunday night.
Monday
Make sure I
night.
didn't get it mixed up. But so I'm jumping around going, oh, Cousins is garbage. Cousins is garbage. Cousins is garbage. Nobody listens, right? So now, greater, keener football minds than mine are now just saying, oh, there was something off about the way Cousins played. So I just want to see if it's a fluke or if he's still really broken. And boy, weren't the Vikings smart to go off from him, get away from him. Even signing Darnold, he's not damaged. Just so anyway, but I'm expecting I'm expecting that the Eagles will blow them out at home, and maybe Cousins goes away for the rest of eternity.
Well, like I said, my game of the week. I picked the exact same game
No,
for similar reasons. First of all, Atlanta, they they're not competitive as long as Cousins is the quarterback. As I said in our predictions last week, I don't think he's going to start 4 games for them this year. He looked like he is still broken. The fact that he conned another team out of a big contract without the ability to win anything surprises me, but it shouldn't surprise me. The Eagles, they like beating up on teams early in the season. They always have. I mean, we've been victim to that. They just love beating up. And Saquon Barkley, scored 3 touchdowns against Green Bay. And Green Bay's defense isn't, they're not phenomenal, but they're not garbage either. And Saquon Barkley's on a
134
mission.
total yards from scrimmage too. I
Yeah.
mean, that's some big doings there.
Mm-hmm. And the Falcons defense, meanwhile, they let two running backs, Najee Harris and John Robinson, get 138 yards on them and 38 carries. They're not stopping Saquon. They're not stopping Saquon, especially not in Philadelphia. I think this one has a chance to be a double digit loss. I mean, when I said double digits, I mean big time double digits, like 20, 21, 22 point loss for Atlanta. And yes, much like the Giants, I think the Falcons are at a position right now where they need to make a decision at quarterback sooner rather than later, which is going to lead me into my hot take for the week coming out of the Giants game. And this is my hot take for the week is that Brian Daboll will not last the season if Drew Lock or Tommy DeVito doesn't start taking snaps for that team. He will not last the season as long as he does not make a quarterback change. If Daniel Jones is your only option back there, you're done. You're getting a first, second, or third pick. And if that's the plan, the new coach will be blessed with the first, second, or third pick. That's my hot take for the week after watching this team play because he's inept and you have too much talent around him. You have too much talent on that field. I mean, you trade some of your pieces. If you're not in it to win it, trade some of your pieces. I mean, get rid of Dexter Lawrence. You can get a few decent draft picks for him, make some moves. But if that's your situation where your quarterback is going to be Daniel Jones, your
Yeah.
career's over.
Well, now there's an opportunity though, because at least with the Giants, they can get DeVito or Locke in there. My hot take for the week, boy, the poor Jets, because they have quickly found that they're terrible with Aaron Rodgers. They were terrible with Aaron Rodgers hurt, but the problem is they don't have a Drew Lock or a Tommy DeVito or Danny DeVito or whoever
There's
Mikey
no plan
DeVito.
B. There's no
They
plan
have
B there.
they've got no plan B. They've got, I mean, there's no drawing board there, so they're just going to go
I
down
don't
in a flaming heap with Aaron Rodgers. So
I don't understand how Robert Saleh, he's known for being disciplined and having discipline and instilling discipline. How does he allow his quarterback not to show up? They, it was obvious they didn't have chemistry. They didn't have rhythm. The quarterback and the receivers have to be on the same page. And when you don't show up and don't practice with guys that you've never played with, because you missed all of last season, so you've never played with these guys. I mean, Josh Dobbs looked better for us last year than
right,
Aaron Rodgers looked. And Josh Dobbs came in, what, 6 days before he had to play?
well,
So,
yeah.
uh,
But then there's Kirk Cousins. Oh man, I keep bringing him up. But hey, I wonder if he was in the quarterback room yesterday.
oh, it was
That whole
Tuesday. It
Tuesdays
was Tuesday.
Tuesday off crap. We'll see, right?
Well, they have a plan B, which may quickly become plan A because Kirk wasn't planting. He was never mobile, but now he's a statue. And if you're a statue in the NFL, like I said, the Eagles game is going to be indicative of what's going on. They didn't have him. He didn't do play action once. They didn't run one play action pass, and Kirk is a play action pass quarterback. They didn't run one play action pass play in the entire game. That makes me wonder, can he?
His footwork. You need footwork to execute a good play action. You've got to have decent footwork, and
He's
if
in the shotgun pistol
still
every
got a
snap.
you still got a blown up Achilles, or he's gun shy, or he could just well be afraid. But
It could be that.
I don't know.
He's been
They were
13 years
just
in the league, never hurt, right? 13 years in the league, it never hurt. Last year he got hurt. So now he
so.
knows what it's like. But
And now he doesn't want it to happen again. He's hearing footsteps. Who knows? But good for the Falcons. I guess it's starting to look the pick of Penix was a pretty doggone smart pick in hindsight, huh?
yeah, it was well, you and I, uh, we were watching the draft together this year and they shocked the world when they picked him. But as we said, it took the Falcons 6 weeks to do what it took us 6 years to learn. Kirk Cousins is not the quarterback we want. And
Hot garbage.
yeah, bravo to the Falcons. I mean, again, I don't want to kick a guy when he's down, but when you're making 200 million a year, you're not really down. So, it's hard.
I
It's hard,
kick him,
hard for me to feel bad for the guy. Just saying,
but
it's hard
and
for
I
me.
hate coming back to him too. That's kind of it's kind of weird, and that kind of creepy, weird thing. Like, oh, I know I broke up with him, but I just want to make sure he got hit by a bus next
Yeah,
week or something.
that's the thing. It's not like I don't harbor any ill will against him personally, and I could care less. But the fact that for 6 years he pulled the con job on this franchise allowed him to con them, and the fact that you still have to this day Vikings fans, quote unquote, Vikings fans who are saying, "Oh, well, what are we gonna do without Kirk? How are we gonna win without Kirk? If we let Kirk go, Justin Jefferson's gonna walk too." Like, what? What? I mean, somebody actually said that. It's like, well, if we let Kirk go, we can say goodbye to Jefferson. I I think Justin Jefferson had Joe Burrow before he had Kirk Cousins, and he didn't go to the Bengals. So
That's true. So he, I
Justin
don't know.
Jeff- Justin Jefferson looked pretty good on Sunday, and Kirk wasn't anywhere in the building. So there you have it. Anyway, we'll be going from that. I'm not going to make any wine with those sour grapes, so I'm going to move on from that. Okay. Uh, so, so, any other hot takes? Any other random thoughts on games this week? On last week's game?
No,
Upcoming
I just
games?
want to watch a couple of those quarterbacks because it was and I know notwithstanding the three preseason games, so we're wanting to see the scrubs more than the starters. So everybody's got rust to kick off. But I mean, everybody from Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson, he's actually going to be out this week, isn't he? I think it's the Justin Fields show again. But
Think
and
not.
Caleb Williams was pretty bad too. So I just want to kind of keep an eye and see what some of these other quarterbacks are doing. And Bo Nix, uh, he wasn't much to holler about because no one had anything to say about him. But
I think
hey,
Russell
let's watch.
Wilson. I think Russell Wilson's injury is going to linger until Justin Fields can't win anymore. I don't think
Mm,
there's a reason to put Russell Wilson back. He may be washed. I mean, who knows? There's so much. Tom Brady's no longer playing. Aaron Rodgers is old and
no
falling
longer
apart.
playing.
Yeah, basically no longer playing. There, you have the drop off after Mahomes is incredible. I mean, you've got flawed quarterbacks in the second tier of quarterbacks. You have the Mahomes tier, and then you've got two or three other guys who are very good, and then a huge drop off. So, and the rookies may end up being great. They may end up being
Jackson,
Hall of Famers
Burrow,
and rookies.
Allen, some of those guys.
Yeah, like Allen. Allen's a turnover machine, but he makes up for it. He can carry a team. He can put a team on its back.
Burrow
But
starting to prove that he can't stay healthy.
mhm. Baker
Um,
Mayfield is start. Who knew Baker Mayfield would have a resurgence? I mean, Baker Mayfield is starting to look real again. But
and everybody sleeps on Hurts. And mm,
because he hasn't won anything, that's the thing. He's like he's
neither
the
of
love.
these other guys. Hey, remember, this is the whole This is that whole tier below Patrick Mahomes. So, yeah, none of those guys have won anything either.
Yeah, as long as
Uh,
Mahomes is in the league, it's almost impossible for the AFC quarterbacks to win anything.
I mean, Jackson keeps winning MVP. He's won a second MVP, but I mean, he's got to a couple of AFC championship games, I think. But no, he hadn't really won anything either.
Yeah.
So,
So it's like and both of us are old guys, so it's like back in the days when the 49ers had Joe Montana. It was like, okay, so the 49ers have Joe Montana and we don't, so you don't, so you too bad. Maybe when he
right?
retires, you've got a shot. Dynasties are hard to come by. The Chiefs are the first dynasty, I think, since the days of the Cowboys. And the Cowboys haven't won anything in what, 20 something years? At least. At
30.
least 30. Okay. I'm getting old. So, but well, we'll see. I mean, that's that's what makes this game fun. Off topic, what wasn't fun was my being paired in the fantasy league that we're both in, my being paired with against the player who scored the most points in the league. That was not
Mm.
fun. That was not fun. So I'm looking forward to week 6. I don't know if you've looked at the schedule, but that's when I face you. And
Oh,
that's my
you'll
Super Bowl. That's my Super Bowl.
you'll just be next. That's all.
Yeah,
But but
I'm ahead of
I
you, by the
lost
way.
my first week. I lost my first week matchup, and I had
Yeah. You had Mahomes,
all these people like Mahomes. I
Justin
had
Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson. Uh oh
Did you have McCaffrey, Christian McCaffrey?
no.
Okay.
Um, but I had my team's loaded, and I'm like, why am I? How did I get beat by like almost 20 points? But then again, the guy, I got beat by a guy who scored triple digits,
So did
and
I.
I think, yeah. So you can't win with that. You give up. You give up.
I scored triple digits and I lost. Okay. I think I had 102 and I lost to a guy who scored 156. So, it is what it
Wow.
is. But yeah, I literally got smoked. So, but
Mm.
as I was watching, I was looking at those scores after I left. the Giants game, so I didn't care. I didn't care.
You
It was a beautiful day. It was 78 degrees, and I sat up in the stadium, had sat in the suite, and enjoyed some sushi, brewski, and got to watch
well,
an excellent game.
but the thing that excited me about the way it turned out was not only did we win the game, but we won the game. It wasn't like, oh, we had to pull it out of our butts to beat a really bad team. I mean, they handled their business. And
Finally,
when it got to the point that Darnold didn't have to throw the ball in the third or fourth quarter, I mean, they could just hand it off to Aaron Jones or Ty Chandler, and they were just doing their thing. I
well,
mean, we had 100-yard back in that game. Wasn't that great? Well,
didn't
actually,
they?
it was 94 yards, but let's say it's 100 yards, right?
We had a rushing touchdown by our starting running back. We didn't have one at all with Alexander Madison. He got none, and that was the first time in 5 years that we won a game by by more than two touchdowns, by more than two scores. First time in 5 years.
Do you know this
Because
is the first time the Did you know this is the first time the Vikings since 2016 that the Vikings won their opener on the road?
no, I didn't know that. I didn't realize that. Well,
Yeah. I,
it-
I was like, what? Really?
because we get paired up with a lot of rough. Didn't we play Philadelphia a couple of years ago for our opener?
hmm
Yeah, it's like we get a lot of rough matchups. The NFL doesn't particularly care. We're not nationally recognized, so we're usually the sister Mary of the poor that has to go up against Alabama in week one. It's like nobody wants to see
Yep.
that. But
Yep.
this week, so this week's game, 49ers, Brock Purdy, McCaffrey's most likely going to be out. Jordan Mason, if we can shut him down, I I think if Brian Flores, and I do believe he's a defensive genius, he had four pass rushers on the line on multiple plays. So literally, if you're looking up and you see four pass rushers, two in the middle and two on the edge, you don't know where to go. And if he can do that and at least stop the run, force Purdy to no, but our secondary is kind of suspect too. So I don't know. I'm
But he does everything he can to cover up the deficiencies that we have in the secondary. So I think that I I think it's probably going to be a competitive game. But like I said at the end, I think I just see the Vikings running out of gas, and and like I said, I'm thinking 24-17 or even 24-10.
okay. Pick one. Pick a score.
24-17.
Okay.
I got the Niners winning.
Okay. I have the Niners winning 31-20.
Mm.
31-20. I think we can get a couple of long field goals maybe or something, but just keep it competitive. I want that stadium loud. I want it loud. I want it loud. I won't be at the game unfortunately, but I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna crank it up to max volume,
Well,
and
the
I'm gonna.
wild card in this whole thing is that the Vikings are at home and they have done some crazy things at home. So who knows?
We beat
But
the 49ers last year. We beat the 49ers last year.
well,
That was
yeah.
that
So
was a surprise. I don't I don't bet sports. I don't bet football, but I believe we're 6.5 point underdog at home. So that means Vegas thinks we're 9.5 points worse, so almost 10 points worse than the Niners. But again,
hmm.
I just want to see a good game. I don't want to see mistakes. I don't want to see penalties. I don't want to see turnovers. I want to see a well played game and then move on to week three because we're at home again in week three.
All right.
Okay. Well, any final thoughts before we wrap this number two episode?
No, man, I just skull.
Okay, same thing. Skull and on to week number two. San Francisco coming to Minneapolis. We'll
Get
see you
some.
next time. We'll see you next time.
Bye.